That should be working now. I can see the audio moving now. You are correct. There's like a bar that goes up and down. That is weird, but it should be working now. Yeah. Sorry, I'll do all that again. See if I can remember. I was saying Fish said ye, but I don't know if he means yo or if he means hi, or if it's a combination between the two. Aeon was saying hi. Mo Scout said, if you actually have ball knowledge, and I was saying I don't have ball knowledge, but if you actually have ball knowledge, what's the biggest what if in football history? I was saying, what if Cristiano Ronaldo joined Arsenal instead of Man United? I think that's a what if. What if Cristiano Ronaldo joined Liverpool instead of Man United? That's an if. Apparently those two clubs were in for him. What if Messi joined Chelsea instead of Barcelona? They were in for him. What if Harry Kane didn't get injured during that 2018 Champions League campaign? Would Spurs have won the Champions League if Harry Kane wasn't injured during that campaign? And would Spurs therefore have a Champions League before Arsenal? There's probably quite a few what ifs. But Mo Scout said if Benzema was in the World Cup, that's another one. Jonathan said hi mommy, and I was saying, okay, mommy is different from mamacita. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just catching up. Yeah, the mic wasn't working. I fixed it now. I don't know why it wasn't working. But as the comment wala says, it was on red, but it's working now. Yeah, I don't know. I just unplugged it, plugged it back in, then it worked. Belly is correct with the timer. I'm like 4 minutes behind. For some reason, my microphone was not working. But we have resolved that technical difficulty. Where am I? I'm on about just after 4 minutes, 20 seconds. And I was also saying I'm here today based on peer pressure. I was not planning to, but that is somehow how life works. I am supporting Newcastle, which is why I'm wearing full Saudi kit. You partly did. It was partly Bailey, partly Pixel, and there was a third person. But it's okay. It's all right. It's all good. After today, I won't be able to go live until the 27th of December, which is about 2 weeks. So with that in mind, it probably makes sense. Loki says, "What's up? Nothing much. The usual. All good with me. How about you?" Moscout says Sunderland will win. I predict 3-1 Sunderland. So 3-1 for the Mackhams. Newcastle just isn't the same as last season. Sunderland are at home, so that gives them an advantage. I've just got a weird feeling Newcastle are gonna get this. I'm gonna go 1-0. I'm gonna go 1-0 Newcastle. Chicken wing, also known as Doge, also known as custard cream sandwich, says matching cap and shirt. That is correct. I don't know if this is too much coordination, but I'm supporting Newcastle, so I decided to wear full Saudi kit, as much as I could. Are you streaming the game later, or is this the last game? This will be the last game. I need to pack for my holiday next week, which I'm very, very far behind on. I also have this kind of... I need to load the dishwasher. I need to do exercise, because I didn't do any exercise yesterday, which meant that I didn't sleep properly. If I do exercise, then I'm tired, then I can sleep properly, but I didn't do much yesterday. So yeah, today, this will be the last one, and then I'm back on the Well, strictly speaking, I'm back in England on the 23rd, 24th. But next game to stream will be the 27th. Mo Scout says Sunderland's story this season is the same as Nottingham Forest last season, and then they just flopped. So do you think Sunderland will finish quite high at the end of the season? Where did Forest finish last year? Was it like 6th or something? Something like that. So do you think Sunderland will have a really good season and then flop next year? Chicken Wing, also known as Doge, also known as Custard Cream Sandwich, says, where are you going on holiday? Going to Italy, going to Rome and Naples next week, which should be good. Never been before. I'm going to get proper fat because I'm just going to be eating pizza and ice cream all day. Jonathan says, happy late birthday to Rafinha. How old is Rafinha these days? He must be, let me guess, 25? Nah, 26. I'm going to guess 26. And he is 29. Jesus. I got that wrong. For some reason, I thought he was a lot younger than that. Bailey reckons the Mackhams will come 12th and then be in a relegation scrap next season. It's certainly possible. I think it might be a case of you get promoted and sometimes that gives you an extra boost and extra energy for the first season, but then when reality hits in the second season, then things don't go as smoothly. Especially if they buy a bunch of players next year, you typically find the players that they buy are not as motivated as the ones that they had, and then it doesn't work out so well. Jonathan says, when you go to Rome, do as the Romans do. That is good advice. I will do my best. Moskelt says, in my thoughts, Sunderland will, I believe, finish above Man City, United and Liverpool. So third. Do you think they'll finish third? Wow. Third, fourth. So yeah, I think next season they won't flop, just be a bit worse, like 8th, 9th, and then third season flop. Dang, that's a pretty bold claim, but I respect bold claims. I think they'll finish. I honestly think 7th or 8th, but let's see. I just feel like a lot of the big hitters are starting to find their stride now. So Liverpool are starting to find their stride. Man City are certainly doing better, but we'll see how they do against Palace today. And then typically what I find when that happens, these teams then fall off a bit, as kind of happened with Nottingham Forest last year. But let's see what happens. Can Gomez provide clean sheets with minimal errors? I love Joe Gomez. I think he's amazing. He has all the attributes needed to be a defender or a fullback. Like, okay, granted, he's not the best passer in the world, but he's good enough. Granted, he's not the biggest defender in the world, but he's good enough. Granted, he's not the fastest defender in the whole wide world, but he's good enough. Like, I just find for all the important attributes, he's good enough. And he can also play multiple positions. He can play centre back, he can play right back, he can even play left back. So wherever you have an injury, you can slot Joe Gomez in. The only concern naturally is with his fitness. Are you covering your camera? No. What makes you say that? It should be fine. Earlier my microphone was not working, but camera looks okay. Bailey thinks Joe Gomez is absolutely class. Yeah, I love Joe Gomez. It might be your phone, AJ, because I think Bailey can see me. I hope. I hope. Yeah, I've opened TikTok up on I got a laptop here. I've just visited the TikTok website on the laptop. Yeah, it might be your phone. Jonathan says, when you go to Rome, take a picture with Paulo Dybala. I'll try my best. I'll try my best. Have you got a message for Paulo Dybala in case I see him? Should I tell him Jonathan loves you or Jonathan hates you? That is the question. Mo Scout says, if they keep it this way, they could even finish second or third. Jesus. But if they stop scoring goals and perform well, yes, they could possibly flop the second season. Where are Sunderland right now? Where are they? Where are they right now in the table? Let's have a quick look. They're eighth. They're eighth, but to be fair, that's probably a bit misleading because the points are so close. I think what will happen is Man City will create a bit of a lead. I think Liverpool are getting into form. I just think, and to be fair, Man United are improving as well. I think Sunderland will finish top half, and I think finishing top half is an amazing achievement, given most people thought they'd get relegated. But I don't see them finishing second. AJ says that's better. Bailey says your phone must be finished. Yeah, definitely. If I'm coming up blank. Jonathan can see me. Bailey reckons Sunderland will finish 9th, I think. Yeah, I can see that happening. And that's a really good achievement. I think most people had them automatically going down. So to finish 9th, that's pretty amazing. Corner for Sunderland. Cleared though. Most Galt says if Sunderland win today, they will be 5th or 6th spot for like one day or two. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird table. I don't remember any time in recent history that the table was this close. Like you just had a bunch of teams on 28-ish points. So if you lose a game, you'll fall down 8 places. If you win a game, you'll jump up 8 places. The table's very close at the moment. But I think after Christmas, you should start to see a bit of separation. I think it shows the strength of the league. This is why it's the strongest league in the world. You just have so many teams who are on roughly the same amount of points. It shows the strength in depth. But yeah, still 0-0. Bailey says, probably the most competitive season in a while. I agree. I don't remember a season being this close from a points perspective in a long time, even around December time. We'll see how long it stays that way. But yeah, in terms of kind of Christmas time, all the points being this close, I don't remember that in a while. When you see Paulo Dybala, so I like how it's now a when. So when I see Paulo Dybala in Rome next week, tell him that Jonathan said he's a big fan of you and please go to a Premier League club and save your career. Please, you should not be the next Messi, be the one Paulo Dybala. I see. So I should say, hello Paulo, hope you are good. Be yourself. Stop trying to be a imitation of somebody else. Be yourself because you are valuable the way you are. That is a deep message. I will pass that on. There is a chance that I don't see him, but if I do see him, that's what I will say. The last football player I saw just out in public, I think, was Jordan Henderson. But we shall see. Moscal says, I believe Arsenal will bottle it. Arsenal will bottle it. Arsenal bottle absolutely everything. Arsenal do not have the mental strength to win a title. I think that's point number one. Point number two, their manager doesn't have the bottle to take the necessary risks it takes to win a title. What I find with Arsenal is season starts, they develop a lead, but once they develop a lead, just wide. Once they develop a lead, they then start getting a bit risk averse. They start playing a bit scared, and then they start going very defensive. Yesterday, they beat Wolves at home. Just about beat Wolves at home, who are rubbish, thanks to 2 own goals. The last own goal, I believe, was in the 95th minute. So I don't see Arsenal ever being a threat. And let's be honest as well. A few weeks ago, everybody was saying, "Bro, the league is done, bro. Arsenal have won it, bro. Bro." I'm like, bro. Arsenal are not going to win anything. If Liverpool don't win it, it will be Man City. I don't see Arsenal winning any sort of major title until they get rid of Arteta. If and when they get rid of Arteta, then I think everybody should be worried because their playing squad is very good. But Mikel Arteta is far too risk averse and his pants are always too tight. I think that's another concern. So if his pants are too tight, it's probably restricting blood flow to his brain. Final Fantasy 16, 7 Remake or 15. 7 Remake is the best out of those. What I will say, what's the one that came out last year? Like Final Fantasy 7 Resurrection or something like that? That was rubbish. But the first remake, the first part was very good. The second Final Fantasy remake, as in part 2, that just had far too many mini games. You spend your whole time doing mini games and not enough time battling, so I just gave up on that game. Moscal thinks Arteta will be until the day he dies, like Arsenal can't get rid of him. It will be interesting to see what their hierarchy does this year if he doesn't win another major title. And by major title, I mean Premier League or Champions League. How long can they continue to sink money into the Arteta boat to get no return? I'm fairly sure he's spent over £1 billion at this point. And he's had, I don't know how many years, 7-ish. Realistically speaking, they need to make a change. And I suspect based on how this season goes, they might do. They're not going to win any major trophy with that guy. He's the one thing holding them back because I think their playing squad is very good. And their fans are great. Their stadium's great. The manager is just an amateur. Now say it line to line. Oh, I've got to write it down. And don't take credit. Tell him the message is from your number. What is from one of your followers. Name's Jonathan. Please say it, bro. Please, man. Do you want me to refer to you as Johnny or Jonathan? That is the question. Should I also tell him that you provide coaching services for football and that you are willing to coach him, or should I leave that out? Can't lie, nothing much has happened in this game so far. Maybe we were spoiled yesterday when we had a goal after 40 seconds. I suspect that could be the cause. Crossed in, rubbish cross. Absolutely nothing happened from it. I know, right? It's been 20 minutes. I'm gonna fall asleep. 10 years for what? Nothing much has happened in this game. I don't remember one good chance. So it's safe to say it's a KG affair. Rank these midfielders for tempo control. Ironically, I'd probably leave it. I'd probably leave it in that order that you have it in. If you're specifically saying tempo control, I would leave it like that. Refer to me as Johnny. Okay, so I cannot refer to you as Jonathan. In case I see Paulo Dybala, I have to say Johnny. And I don't provide anything. I reject. That is true. You did reject that offer. And write it down, please, bro. I love Paulo Dybala. I'm his biggest fan. I will pin it. Where is your comment? Where is it? Let me find it. There you go. I've pinned it. Now it will never be forgotten. And you did say yesterday, I never pin your comments. So I'm killing two birds with one stone. Come on, Newcastle, do something. Chicken wing known as Doge, also known as custom cream sandwich. His priorities are in the right place. Which pizza are you most looking forward to? The ones in UK are so bad, taste like cardboard. I agree 1,000% on that. The best pizza I ever had was in New York. New York pizza is absolutely amazing. I don't know if Italian pizza will be as good, which I appreciate is a bit blasphemous because pizza is from Italy. I tend to just keep it simple. I think if you can make a good margarita pizza, that is the sign, or that's the indicator of whether you can make good pizza or not. If you know what I mean. Because if you add a lot of toppings, that's good, but then sometimes the toppings can do the heavy lifting, and it might just be good toppings on a cardboard base. So I tend to generally keep it simple. I think in Rome and I think in Naples, I think the style of pizza is different. Like in UK now, we get some fancy shops, which is like Neapolitan type pizza, but it's like a bit like naan bread, but it's quite thick. That seems to be a popular thing in UK. So you get fancy pizza shops. You also get standard pizza shops like Pizza Hut, Domino's, that type of deal. You also get Asian pizza shops, which can be good sometimes. But yeah, New York pizza was my favorite. But I will update you in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Simpler is better, especially if it's in Italy. You can taste the quality. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna just keep it simple and see how good it is. As I said, I don't. Oh, Voltamade is limping. I don't think it will be better than New York pizza, but I will find out very soon. Crazy FC guy says, why no City game? To be honest, I wasn't planning on going live today. I got peer pressured into going live. More people wanted to see the Newcastle game, so I figured why not. But I've got an eye on the score for that. Are you watching the City game? City against Palace? It is still 0-0 as far as I can see. Most scouts never been to England, but I've been to Ireland and Denmark and the whole Balkans. Very nice. Have you got a favorite place that you visited out of all of those? I've been to Ireland. I've not been to Denmark. What does the Balkans encapsulate? Is Czechia in the Balkans? I've been to Czech. I've been to Prague. Okay, no, this is the Balkans. This is the Balkans here. Of the Balkans, I've only been to Romania. But I do have some of those other places on the list. But yeah, have you got a favorite place out of those? Jeffrey says, "How's it? All good? Not bad. I'm not bad. I'm not too bad. How are things with you? You must be happy with the result yesterday. No blunts were consumed yesterday." Crazy FC guy says, "Nah." Fair enough. I'm surprised to see you. I was not planning to go live today. I was pressured into doing it because it's the derby. And the other thing is, I won't be around next week. So after today, the next time I'll be back is on the 27th, which is the Wolves game, which is about 2 weeks. I'm going to miss the Spurs game because I'll be in Italy. So I figured, you know what? Since people want to see the Newcastle game, I'll try and fit that in because after today I'll be missing in action for 2 weeks. Jonathan says, write that. So Jonathan has a message for Paulo Dybala, and he wants me to write it down. There you go. I've written it. Please write it, man. I have done it. I've just written it down. Please, but if you do, then your cat will live long. Well, that is as good a reason as any. I have literally written it down. Let me see if I could. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you can see it, but it's on there. You probably let me make the font bigger. Okay. Can you see? There you go. It's on my notes app. Dominic, as in Szoboszlai. Did you think Szoboszlai was the best player yesterday? Most scouts been to Greece. The best place I've been is Navajo Beach, Shipwreck Beach. Zakynthos. It's so beautiful. You can Google it if you want. Zakynthos. I can't lie. This is more interesting than this Sunderland game. Oh wow, you weren't lying. That looks pretty good, to be fair. I can't lie. My it kind of looks edible, but it's not edible. But yeah, that does look good. I'll have to add that to the list. It's like a coastal town with a mountain in the background. Looks really good, to be fair. Yeah, Greece is on my list to visit, 100%. Just when it's a bit colder, then I shall be there. Crazy FC guy says T the stream, so I get viral. What does T mean? What's T? Ikram says shirt looks neat and glowing. I am wearing full sidey kit to support Newcastle. And don't forget to tell Paulo about it. I promise if I see Paulo Dybala, I will update him with the note from Johnny. Not Jonathan, but from Johnny. Crazy FC guy says, please. What does T the stream mean? I don't know what you mean by T. Are you saying you made a tech vid? Is that what it is? Come on, Newcastle. Uvak Canyon, Special Nature Reserve Uvak. It's the second best place I've been. You should see that for yourself. Was it Uvak Canyon? Oh wow, this is in Serbia. Damn, that does look good. It makes a nice change because we don't really have areas like this in England. But yeah, it looks amazing. I mean, it looks a bit like a snake. I like how it's green as well. That's pretty cool. But yeah, looking good. Jonathan says thank you and whatever the rest of that is. That's okay. Oh, you made a techie. I can't put it on the stream because then YouTube has a fit whenever you do that. I tried that once before. But I can watch it later. But if I put it on, it complains. Let me see. Go to channel. Finley says we have really not started this game well. Like, I agree. I was peer pressured into watching this game. I don't recall a more boring 34 minutes in my life. But it's okay. It's okay. I mean, if it's a boring game, I guess things can only go up from there. It's very cagey, isn't it? It's very cagey. I am predicting Newcastle to win, and I am wearing full-sided kit. I'm wearing full-sided kit to support Newcastle. Which one is it? It's Rafinha edit? Is it a short or is it a video? Rafinha edit. Van Dijk edit. Clash Royale. Finley said, tell me about it. We were getting battered like fish and we're very sloppy. I agree. It's very... I don't mean it as an insult, but it's quite desperate football. Like, kick the ball forward. It's not a particularly good pass. It gets cleared. Ball goes to Sunderland. Sunderland kick the ball forward. Ball gets cleared. Goes back to Newcastle. Jermaine Defoe's in the crowd, wearing a very big coat. Maybe he can come on and inject a bit of pace into this game. Mo Scout says Blagaj. I'm probably gonna butcher the pronunciation. Blagaj Teke. Oh no, this is. I thought this was gonna be a song. Kravika Waterfalls. Oh. This is in Bosnia. Looking good. Speaking of waterfalls, I went to Niagara Falls in October. That was really good. But this looks pretty good as well. Yep, there's always nice places to visit, which is why I try and visit places maybe 7-8 times a year. Keeps me sane, to be honest. Fluffy says, yo, how's it going, Fluffy? Pickford's bought Grealish, and is that Kevin De Bruyne, KDH, up for the game and all? What's that? As in Pickford, as in the Everton game, or am I misinterpreting? Oh, it's the Van Dijk thing. The thing is, I have to be very careful about putting videos on the screen that are actual football. Because this is a longer stream, YouTube will complain. If it's a short, that's fine, because the short is limited to, I believe, 3 minutes. But because this is part of a longer video, trust me, it's not worth the hassle. You're back from your nap. I might need to take a nap. You can take over the stream. I'll probably have a nap in 5 minutes. Bailey can take over with Finley's help. Dewsbury Hall, Pickford went to the derby and brought them with him. Big Dan Burns coming back on. Bruno's on the floor. That's the other thing as well. It's like the game will start, somebody will go down, somebody will get hurt, the game stops again. We wait forever for a player to get up. Yeah, you do need to be a bit more aggressive. Bruno just got shoved in the back and went over. But it's a free kick on the right hand side now. Bruno's going to cross it in, but this is a good opportunity. They should surely be aiming for big Voltamade. Oh, cleared though. Moskelt says Moraine Lake. Yeah, Banff National Park is 1,000% on my list. I've already got plans to go there. Banff is amazing. It's this park in Canada. That is 100% on my list. I swear it's the third most beautiful one for me. You should 89% visit. I will visit. I will 100% visit Banff. When I went to Canada, I was going to say last year, 2 months ago, I went to Toronto and Montreal. I am going to do another trip to Canada to go to Vancouver. Banff, from what I recall, is near Calgary. So I think I'd have to fly into Calgary airport and then go to Banff from Calgary, I believe, when I was looking this up. The thing is with Banff, it's like a whole town. So it's also not like a thing you can do as a day trip. You have to go to Banff and stay in Banff. So it is on the list. It is most definitely on the list. I was considering going in February, but it's going to be too cold. But potentially next year. Apparently there's bears and stuff around there as well, which is pretty cool. Talking about Defoe, says Zame. Who was better, Defoe, Darren Bent, Andy Carroll, Welbeck or Sturridge? We had a lull of English strikers. Indeed we did. We had so much quality back in the day. A lot of these players wouldn't get into the team. A lot of these players were benched. I think Defoe was in the team back when it was kind of Owen and Shearer, and Defoe was always the bench player for those. Defoe just did amazing wherever he went. He was very good at West Ham. He was very good at Tottenham. I'd argue maybe his prime was Tottenham. I think he was quite good at Portsmouth as well. In terms of ranking those, the mid 2010 eras. Ooh. I'll try to rank them. Naturally, this is going to be quite controversial because I feel like rankings are always controversial. I would go, if we're doing this purely on talent and ability, I'd put Sturridge number 1. But I don't think we can discount Sturridge's injury concerns and fitness concerns. So with that in mind, I'd go Defoe number 1. Because Defoe had that longevity, number 1. And number 2, he also did it at multiple clubs. He did it at Spurs, he did it at Portsmouth, he did it at West Ham. So I definitely put Defoe number 1. I'd put Sturridge number 2. Even though he had the injuries and all that, I still think his technical level was so high that it would feel unfair to put Sturridge below number 2. So I'd go Defoe, Sturridge. Number 3, I'd go Darren Bent. I remember it was a big deal when Villa bought Darren Bent for £20 million, but then he did score a bunch of goals. Darren Bent, number 3. Welbeck, number 4. Andy Carroll, number 5. That's probably what I'd say, but naturally a lot of people would disagree with that. So I'd go Defoe 1, Sturridge 2, Bent 3, Welbeck 4, Carroll 5. How about you? Mo Scout says the Swiss Alps Zermatt are also pretty cool. I've been there, but it's cold as F. Yeah, I've heard it's very cold there. I was looking at Zurich last year for like a cheap holiday. I just wanted a cheap holiday, and it was so expensive, and I was like, okay, this is not a cheap holiday. But I do need to visit Switzerland. And when I visit, I will try my best not to eat chocolate every day, but I'm not making any promises. Come on, Newcastle! Or Sunderland, but rather Newcastle. My phone glitched, so resent it. No worries. Can't complain with that ranking as long as Carroll is last. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. What's your ranking then? I think I did Defoe, Sturridge, Bent, Welbeck, Carroll. I think that's fair. Mo Scout says, bro, it's Switzerland. Of course it's expensive. Fair point. When I was looking at it, I was thinking, okay, Switzerland, that might be quite cheap, but given it's Zurich and given all the, I wouldn't say it's the financial capital of the world, but it is a financial hub. I soon realized, okay, this is not going to be a cheap holiday. But that's fine. It is what it is. I will definitely visit Switzerland one day. Maybe next year. Headed over by Sunderland. Ikram says, is Liverpool spending free funded effectively through player sales? Generally speaking, in the past it has been. Generally speaking, in the past they've tried to roughly break even. For example, people always say, oh my god, Liverpool bought Darwin Núñez for 65 million. They did, but they also sold Sadio Mane for 40. They also sold Nico Williams to Nottingham Forest for 20. They also released Divock Origi. So generally in the past, they have tried to roughly break even. What will be interesting will be to see what happens from a financial perspective this year. Because of course they've brought all those players, but this is one of the first seasons where they have not broken even. Will they sell Salah and will that be a means of breaking even from a financial perspective, or will they sell Salah and then buy Semenyo? Who knows? Bailey says Carroll, Núñez, Evan Ferguson, Troy Parrott, and then Alberto Moreno, as in the Liverpool left back. I know they say you should never hate your own players, but Moreno would give me a heart attack every time I'd see him lining up. Jonathan says, rank based on passion for football. Modric, Kimmich, Tonali, Bruno Fernandes. It's hard to qualify. It's hard to qualify passion. I'd maybe leave it like that, but I'd swap Tonali and Fernandez around maybe. But generally speaking, they're all pretty passionate players. Zaim says Defoe, Bent, Sturridge, Welbeck, Carroll. Okay, that to be fair, that's close to what I had it. You've only flipped around Bent and Sturridge, so we're pretty close on that. I think 4 out of 5. I remember Klopp did once imply about Sturridge around how he wouldn't play through minor injuries. Yes, I believe the quote was something like he needs to recognize what is real pain and fake pain. It was something like that. He needs to realize what's real pain and fake pain. It was something like that, I think. Yeah, that was disappointing. To be honest, Sturridge's legs were pretty much gone before Klopp arrived, I think. I think if Sturridge had continued to play club football, he might be in a wheelchair right now. So it's probably for the best, because he was already a broken man before that. Most gals said we wanted to go to the Maldives, but it was 3.5k. So my mom was like, heck nah, we ain't going there. I would rather go to Russia, Moscow, than the FA. Fair enough. It can be quite expensive. Certain places. Is that 3.5k in local currency? But either way, certain places can be quite expensive, and naturally, the more people that go, the more expensive it is. What I find weird is that people always look for cheap flights. Like, I got friends and they always say, I'm looking for cheap flights. And I'm like, bro, it's not about cheap flights. It's about cheap hotel. The hotel is surely the bigger expense. Belly says, rank these signings: Nunes, Ekitike, and Origi. The thing is with Ekitike, it's tough to rank him yet because he's only had 2-3 months of football. But with that said, if I had to, if you forced me to rank them, I'd probably go Ekitike, Origi, Nunes. Divock Origi, I believe he was about £8 million from some French club, Lens or Lille or something. So I think the price of Origi has to come into account. So I'd go Ekitike, Origi, Nunes. Grace says, yes, you have the Gucci hat, my favorite one. Yeah, I have to before I pick a hat now, I have to double check, is Grace going to approve of this or not? The only problem now is I have a bunch of hats that you don't like, so I'm gonna have to wear one of those next time. But I'm glad you like this one. This is one of my favorites, I'd say. Grace is wanting Sunderland to win. It's a pretty even game so far. I was saying earlier, I'm wearing full Saudi kit, so. Does that mean I'm supporting Newcastle? Because I'm basically wearing a Saudi kit, even though it's a Liverpool kit. I just want to see an entertaining game as a neutral, and I can't lie, that was the most boring first half of football I've ever seen in my life. I don't remember any game being that boring, which is annoying, but also it means things can only go up from here. Jonathan says, rank on passing: De Bruyne, Modric, Marco Reus. Is that Andrea Pirlo, Xavi, or Ozil? Dang. But good question. I'd probably go KDB number 1. Pirlo number 2, Xavi number 3, Modric number 4, Ozil number 5, Marco Reus number 6. People are not going to like that, but that's what I'd say. Moscal says, bro, we live in a 1k dinar house, so we are cooked if there is an earthquake. Let's hope not. Earthquakes can be pretty pretty devastating. Have a pretty devastating impact. So I hope all stays good. Bailey would swap Ekitike and Origi. Fair enough. I can understand that. So you'd go Origi number 1, Ekitike number 2, Nunes number 3. I understand that. Yeah, I noticed. Thankfully, I noticed. Fish is back, says I'm back. What happened? To be honest, you haven't really missed much. It's been a really boring first half of football. So we're just talking about random stuff, to be honest with you. Talking about holidays, talking about food, and just ranking players based on random things. So Jonathan came up with this question earlier. Zayn came up with this question earlier. Grace is saying Ronaldo or Messi. I would go for Messi. But equally, if somebody says Ronaldo, I understand. I get where they're coming from. So I'd say... This is the thing. Just to me, I think Messi had a way of doing things that I've never seen before. But that isn't to say Ronaldo's bad. I think Ronaldo's very good. I almost feel as if there's no incorrect answer to this question. That's me being diplomatic. But also me being honest. There's sometimes a tendency where if somebody says Messi, then it's like, oh my God, what about Ronaldo? Whereas if somebody says Ronaldo, it's a case of, oh my God, what about Messi? I think they're both amazing. I'd be leaning towards Messi. But if somebody says Ronaldo, I understand. Fish says, are you doing Carabao Cup matches? If it's a Liverpool game, yeah. Oh, actually, it can't be a Liverpool game. I think Liverpool are out, right? which means probably not. Most Scout says, for passing, I would say De Bruyne. I put De Bruyne number 1. Modric, Marco Reus, Andrea Pirlo. I always thought Andrea Pirlo was a very good passer. Who was the other one? Let's have a look. Xavi and Ozil. I thought Xavi was a good passer, to be fair. Jonathan says, bro, Marco was so good. You're a Dortmund hater. I wouldn't say I'm a Dortmund hater. It's just tough to rank all of these because they're all amazing. For example, if I put Xavi last, does that mean I'm a Barcelona hater? They are all elite. I think what we need to consider is if this is a list of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If this is a list of 6 and I put Marco Reus last, that doesn't mean Marco Reus is rubbish. That means, because the reality is this list has 1,000 names in it. So Marco Reus is still in the top 10 of the 1,000. Yeah, Ozil was the other one. Grace says, I think you're my favorite streamer at the moment. Can't lie. Appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words. That means I have to keep the nice hats on. If I change to the cheap hats, then I might fall down the ranking. So I'll have to keep the fancy hats for a bit longer. Mo Scout says, we already lost our house and almost my life, but yeah, been good since then. Sorry to hear that. That does sound a bit traumatic, but it's good to hear. It's good to hear that things have been a bit better since. So hopefully that's a sign that things are improving. Charlotte says League of Legends, Dota 2 or Smite. To be honest, I'm not a major MMO game type of player. I wish I was. I've just never found MMO games particularly interesting. Grace says maybe, yeah. I've set high standards for myself. I need to just buy fancy caps from now on. Bailey says, you're definitely mine as well. Appreciate that. Always your number one on TikTok. Wow. I didn't know that, but that's good to hear. That's really good to hear. I'll be honest, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I just talk about whatever and I'm nice to people. I think that's just how I am most of the time. Jonathan says, if loyalty had a face, I will be the cutie Marco Reus. Is Marco Reus number one on your cutie ranking? Or do you have somebody higher than Marco Reus? That is the question. Fish says, last stream, please do Cardiff versus Chelsea, please, I beg you. When is that? When is that game? Cardiff versus Chelsea. I can't do that because I will be in Italy. I'm going to Italy next week. I will be in Italy at that time, unfortunately. So today's the last stream. My flight's on Tuesday morning. I probably shouldn't have admitted that, but my flight's on Tuesday morning. But today will be the last stream and then I'll be back on the 27th. Jonathan says, can you stand up? Why do you want me to stand up? I mean, I am wearing clothes underneath, but then they're not quite as fancy. They're not quite as fancy as what I'm wearing above the waist. Most Gelt has been in a coma for 2 years because of that earthquake. I understand. I understand it was understandably a traumatic time. Given the devastation earthquakes can cause, but it's good to hear that things are starting to get better. Jonathan says, bro, why are people copying me? I said you're my favorite at the time of sending. I don't know about people copying. I take it as a compliment. Because I generally, I'm genuinely just making it up as I go along. So if people say nice things, I appreciate that. Grace says 27. No, that's too long. It is a long time, isn't it? It is a long time. I've got a flight on Tuesday, so my flight's on Tuesday morning, and then I get back to England on the 23rd, I think. I think it's the 23rd I get back. And then the next Liverpool game will be 27th. So it is definitely a while away. Appreciate that, Charlotte. Jonathan says, bro, please stand up. Why do you want me to stand up so badly? I'm literally wearing I don't know, are these Adidas? Yeah, it is Adidas. I'm wearing Adidas joggers. Grace says, who are we against? I believe it's Wolverhampton Wanderers at home, I think, but let's double check. LFC fixtures. Yeah, it's Wolves. So Saturday, 27th of December. Wolves at home. That should be an easy win, I hope. Yeah. You said it in better language than me. I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be nice and say, yes, that should be a rather simple occasion. And Grace is like, yeah, they're crap. That's what I was thinking in my head, to be fair. That should be an easy win. Am I greedy if I say I don't just want a 1-0? I want something more than that. Bailey says, got you to 1k likes. Appreciate that. I'm going to head off now. Take care, Bailey. Enjoy your... Is it afternoon? Yeah, enjoy your afternoon. Jonathan says, please stand up, bro. Please stand up if you don't have a BONER, but you're here, so then I might do, purely because you're here. Take care, Bailey. Dot, also known as Full Stop, says, Wolves going to be a tricky game. They gave Arsenal a tough game. They did, to be fair. Arsenal needed two own goals to win that game, the latter of which came in the 95th minute. So they did well there. But I think Man United battered them, didn't they? It was 4-1 or something like that. So I'm expecting Liverpool to do the same. Fish says, check the next Gornik match. This is Fish's local team from Poland. You know what? I've actually never watched a match of your team. I should do that once and just report back to you. You're not playing again, Fish, until the 31st. I don't know if you can see that there. But on the 31st of January, you are playing Piast Gliwice. And then on the 6th of February, you are playing Lech Poznan. I hope that provides a bit of clarity. Charlotte agrees, which is always good. Zaim says, I read a stat that the success rate of signings at Liverpool are 70%. Interesting stat. What is the criteria for that stat? How far back does that go? It looks like it is potentially the last decade. Rank these signings for Liverpool: Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Minamino, Shaqiri, Arthur. If Arthur Melo is on any list, he's going to the bottom. I don't care if the list is for footballing or how good they are at making tea. If it's a list about how good are they at making tea, Arthur Melo's at the bottom of that list. Carvalho and Danny Ings. Oh wow, okay. You got to think about these sometimes, because sometimes they're not straightforward. I would say Oxlade-Chamberlain number 1, Shaqiri number 2, Minamino number 3, Carvalho, I'm tempted to say number 4 because Liverpool just turned a massive profit on that guy. They tripled their money. Danny Ings, I'd say 5 because he was constantly injured and I feel like he had his best time after he left. Naby Keita number 6, given the money that was spent, about 50 million, and 50 million was a lot back in 2017, I'd put Keita 6th and Arthur Melo 7th. Jonathan says, bro, don't say Wolves. Yeah, your neighbor. Yeah, I need to only say nice things about Wolves. Adebanyo says, hi bro, how are you today? All good, thank you. How are you? Hope you are good. I think on these fixtures we'll need to win at least 4 or 5 of them. Let's have a quick look. That's a good point, to be fair. What are our expectations? I don't know if I can squeeze that in. Spurs game, would you expect the Spurs game to be a win? Or would you take a draw for that? Spurs game. Oh! The Mac comes as, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? Sorry, that was a bit too Geordie. What's going on, like? What's happened? I'll wait for as Volta hit that in his own goal. Fans are going crazy. Like, I'm wearing Newcastle kit. I'm wearing Saudi Newcastle kit to support the Mags. What's happened? I'm quite distraught about this. I'm supporting the Mags. Why do they keep showing Voltamade? They're just showing the replay now. Crossed in. What the hell is that? What the hell was that? Jesus of Nazareth. So Sunderland crossed it in, and Voltome just headed it into his own goal, like he was attacking the ball, if you know what I mean. Sunderland crossed it in. Voltome got on the end of the ball and headed it into his own net, and it didn't even look like an accident. It's just a complete brain fart by Voltome, I'd say. Unfortunate. Voltome's clinical, but also clinical in the other goal. But yeah, in these games, I'd probably take a draw against Spurs, a battering against Wolves, a battering against Leeds, a win against Fulham, and a draw against Arsenal. Adebanyo says win at least 4-5 against them. I'd take a draw against Spurs and a win against Arsenal. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, Voltome just headed it into his own goal. Grace is saying, what happened? I'm watching Man City now. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Reluctant Gamer will not be happy. Reluctant Gamer says, hey, Sunderland look better. The nerves are there for the Newcastle players. They need to be more confident and take it to them. They do look very nervous. They look a bit scared, to be honest with you. They need to show a bit more aggression, show a bit more passion. What are your thoughts on that Voltome goal? I can't lie, that's one of the funniest things I've seen, but also one of the craziest things I've seen. It was a good header. It was a really, really good header, just in the wrong goal. I was thinking about that yesterday. People are not talking about Lamine Yamal anymore so much this season. Fish says rank these players and how good they were. Kevin Keegan I didn't really see much of, but I've heard he was good. I don't know who that middle player is. Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't recognize that player. Is that like one player or is that three separate players? Dudek was okay, a bit overrated. He had a good performance in the Champions League final, but I always thought he was average. So I'll go Keegan, Dudek, and then whoever that is in the middle. I don't know who that is. Most Gal says, by the way, is your watch off by 1 hour? It's 4:06 right now, not 5:06, not 3:06. No, it's 3. In England, it's 10 past 3. The clocks went back a few weeks ago. Grace says you don't know Trent. I do know him. I just refuse to acknowledge him. The trouble is when I say these things with a straight face, it just makes it realize. It makes it seem I'm not being sarcastic, but I'm just being sarcastic. Mr. Default says United. Jonathan really wants me to stand up for some reason. Wayne says, got a good result against Brighton, but defensively we were bad. I thought Liverpool, what about the defence concerned you? I thought Liverpool were okay. I thought Liverpool were okay defensively. It was nice to get a clean sheet. I'm happy with the result, to be honest with you. Mr. Default says Voltome go to. I mean, what a header, to be fair. I appreciate it was in the wrong net, but do we still need to appreciate the header? You know what I mean? Grace was like, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm just messing. I refuse to acknowledge that guy. He's too busy winning Ballon d'Ors, isn't he, for Real Madrid? Zaim says, oh right, Ian Graham, that's that data analyst. Said the maximum a club. Did I just say club like I'm Rafa Benitez? Club. The maximum a club could have for a transfer success rate 70%. I think he's probably saying the maximum you can reasonably expect, I guess. 100% it's possible, but it's fair to say the maximum you could reasonably expect is 70%. And if you have a 70% success rate, that's good. Karius or Arthur? You're making me choose between which disease would I rather have? Would I rather get thrown off a bridge or bleed out slowly? Karius or Arthur? I'd put Karius below Arthur, because Karius was brought in as the first choice, whereas Arthur was brought in as a backup. So I think we need to adjust our expectations based on that. Mr. Default says Palmer injured for months, came back and got a goal before Wirtz. Yeah, I need to see Wirtz get a goal. But Liverpool have changed their formation now, so I think now that they've changed the formation, he's starting to look a bit more effective. So I think, and to be honest, he's starting to find his place in the team. He's starting to look a bit stronger. So hopefully we should see that change very soon. Wayne says, Gerard. Jonathan says, what's the problem? Are you beating my meat? I am, even though you can see both my hands. Just the thought of you is enough. Probably shouldn't say that. My hands are here. Moskel says, somebody was the best player in Liverpool. You can't say he betrayed y'all. He did betray y'all. He 100% betrayed y'all. If he had gone for a fee, if he had gone for 30 million, then I'd have no problem with it. It's the fact that he refused to sign a contract and left on a free. If you want an example, consider Alexis McAllister. So Alexis McAllister joined Brighton from Argentina. McAllister had no connection to Brighton, but what McAllister did was he signed a new contract with Brighton with basically a release clause in it, so that if McAllister was ever to leave Brighton would get some sort of return for him. So I just don't understand why an Argentine player can do that for Brighton, whereas Mr. Homegrown lad can't do that for his own team. Adebanyo says, with all this result, Liverpool have been grinding recently. I still think Arne Slot needs to be sacked. I think he's still under pressure. As you said, the recent results are better, but there's still pressure on him. Unfortunately, or should I say maybe fortunately for the manager, since Salah did that outburst, Salah has now become public enemy number one in the eyes of the Liverpool hierarchy. If Salah didn't do that outburst, I think Slot would be under a lot more pressure. But by Salah doing that outburst, Salah has inadvertently taken the pressure off of Slot and put it on him. That's another reason why it was completely brainless to do that outburst. But you're right. You're right in terms of saying we appreciate things have gotten better, but that doesn't mean all is good now. There is still a degree of pressure that comes with the job. Fish says, rank these players: Shei, Ojo, whoever that middle one is, and Ovi Ajaria. Ojo, Ajaria, and then whoever that middle one is. Wayne says, Arsenal have some injuries, so they might slip up. I 100% agree. I find it so crazy a month ago that everybody was saying, bro, Arsenal have won the league, bro. Arsenal are going to do it, bro. Bro. It's Arsenal's years, bro. It's absolutely never Arsenal's year. Arsenal are incompetent. Arsenal don't know how to win trophies. It's never Arsenal's year. If Liverpool don't win the league, then Man City will win it. And Chelsea maybe have an outside chance, but most likely Man City will win it. I don't think Arsenal will win anything significant until they get rid of that manager. They hired somebody who's a complete amateur. Arteta had never had a senior manager job, and then he took over a massive club in Arsenal. So I don't think he's got the experience to get them over the line. Mo Scout says, I'm sorry to ask, but are you married? I am not. Chicken Wing said, for F's sake, I got Volta made in my FPL. Does it count as negative points if you get an own goal? That would be quite funny if it did. Jonathan says, stand up, are you beating my meat? Yes, I am, even though you can see my hands. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I assure you I'm not. I appreciate that the Newcastle game is boring, but it's not that boring. Wayne says, Isak wasn't worth the money. I'm willing to give him time. To be honest with you. He just doesn't seem fully fit. And I can understand the frustration regarding Isak will play a game and then he'll get a knock and then he'll miss a game. And then he'll come off the bench and then he'll get injured and then he'll miss a game. And then he'll play 45 minutes and then he'll get injured and he'll miss a game. I won't judge him until he has had a consistent run in the team. Because I think until you have a consistent run in the team, you can't build a connection with your teammates. So I'm just waiting for him to get a bit of fitness. Grace says, who do you think will win the World Cup? I don't know if this is a lazy answer, but probably France. France have quality coming out their ears. France could go home, lift up the sofa, look underneath the sofa and find 5 world-class players who are not even in the squad. France are just absolutely overflowing with quality. So I think the easy answer, and to a certain degree the lazy answer, is to say France. They've just got too many good players. If it's not working, let's say they sub Mbappe off and they bring on Ekitike as an example. They've just got far too much quality, I think. Grace says, you're funny, you know that, right? I try my best. The thing is, I always say jokes with a perfectly straight face, so then people think I'm actually being serious, but I'm not. I'm actually just taking the mick. Wayne says Klopp is miles better than Slot, no question about it. I'd say they're different. Klopp had strengths. I certainly think Klopp was a better man manager, but equally we have to recognize what Slot did. People always say Slot won the league with Klopp's players, but Klopp couldn't win the league with those players. And I'd argue a big part of Slot winning the league was him reinventing Ryan Gravenberch. And Klopp had Ryan Gravenberch on the bench. So I think they're both good. They both have strengths. They both have strengths that they're good at. They both have weaknesses that they need to work on. I'd say they're just different, to be honest with you. But I agree, there's certain things Klopp... I miss Klopp's football. I miss how aggressive it was. I miss how exciting it was. I miss the fullbacks running up and down the pitch. Klopp's football, I think what we can't disagree on is that Klopp's football was more exciting. It was more interesting to watch. And I do miss that, to be honest with you. Jonathan says, what are your thoughts on Julian Alvarez? Alvarez is great. It was a bit annoying a few years ago when City had Haaland and Alvarez, so it was a lot more difficult for Alvarez to find his place. But it's good now that Alvarez has gone to a club where he can be the star of the show. So I think Alvarez is amazing. I would have taken him at Liverpool, and I'm sure most clubs in the world would take him. But he will be very expensive. Oh wow, -1. That's crazy. So an own goal. The thing is that own goal was so epic. They should deduct -10 for that. because it wasn't a case of it accidentally came off his foot and it rolled in, or it accidentally deflected off his backside and accidentally rolled in. Bro fully headed it into his own goal. I feel like they should deduct 10 points for that. Jonathan says, bro, you are married to me. That's a good reminder. I had forgotten about that. Fish says, who's your god? That would be you. Jonathan says, please stand up or I will start crying. I mean, it might be a good thing if you start crying. Jonathan thinks England will win. England have a good shot. England are another one of those teams that have a lot of strength and depth, and certain players might not start, and if something's not working, they can bring off a player off the bench, and the player they bring off the bench is also very good. I think England have a very good shot also. France would still be my number one pick because they also know how to win trophies. And I think part of the mental side is important. What I will say, something that can hold England back is I think the media in England will just get on their back and kind of victimize the players. And the way the media operate, they don't operate in such a way that celebrates the players and gets the best out of the players. The media always get on their backs. And I think that has a negative impact. Arteta doesn't rest his players enough. That's why injuries occur. It's certainly possible. It's certainly possible. He has a lineup and he sticks with the lineup. I think it's tough to find that balance between ensuring consistency in the team, but also ensuring you don't overplay players to the extent where they get tired and get injuries. Ooh, Newcastle through but saved. That's a good point by Jonathan. England do have Tuchel now, who is an expert in knockout football, Champions League winner. Grace says Pele or Maradona. I'm gonna say one of these, and if it's the incorrect answer, then my excuse will be I'm too young to have seen both of them. I'd be leaning towards Maradona. But if I get that wrong, my excuse will be I've not actually seen either of them play in much detail. Sammy is watching all the matches. What's going on with all these own goals this week? That is a good question. What I love about Voltemade's own goal is sometimes an own goal just kind of deflects off the back foot and goes in, or kind of deflects off your backside and goes in. Whereas Voltemade's own goal, he fully smacked the ball with his head. So it wasn't just an own goal, it was an absolutely hilarious own goal. I don't know what's going on. It must be something in the weather. They've said there's a new flu going around. Maybe that's making people go crazy. That's my theory. It certainly makes things funnier. We can put it that way. Grace says you haven't put the timer on. That is correct. Thank you for the reminder. It's been 20 minutes. 20 minutes have gone, but better late than never. There we go. Corrected. Wayne says should have been a red card in the Brighton game. Is that the tackle on Wirtz? Is that the tackle on Wirtz? It was pretty nasty, I can't lie. But we all know what the refereeing is like in this league. Inconsistent at the best of times and absolutely diabolical at the worst of times. Wayne predicts Argentina will win the World Cup. Certainly possible. Certainly possible. They've got Messi, and naturally they also have top players. McAllister, got good defense. They've got Lautaro Martinez. They've got Alvarez, who we were talking about earlier. Argentina are a good shout as well. Argentina won the last one, didn't they? So they have the pedigree to win another one. Slot rotates too much, which doesn't allow consistency to build on rotations. That's a good point, and to a certain degree, that's the other side of the argument. So I feel like one side of the argument is if you don't rotate enough, you increase the risk of injury, whereas if you rotate too much, you can't build up any consistency. I think it's a fine line, and to be honest, most managers haven't quite found the balance yet, I don't think. What I'd say in terms of mastering rotation, I'd say maybe Pep Guardiola is the master of that, because he does rotate, but even when he rotates, it rarely seems to have a significantly negative impact. Grace says, I don't like either of them, so you're fine. Okay, I did better on this one rather than the Ronaldo versus Messi. Yes, there's definitely something going around with that flu, making players kick the ball into their own net. Ikram says, do you like roller coasters? Absolutely not. I'm not a roller coaster guy. Wayne loves roller coasters, but me, I'm scared of nothing in life other than heights. So when I went to Toronto a couple of weeks back, I went in the CN Tower, which is one of the tallest buildings in the world. But I made sure I was a good distance away from the window. It's one of the tallest buildings in the world, and I don't know how people go right up to the edge. I like to maintain a safe distance because I do not like heights. Grace says Phil Foden scored yay. I echo the yay because I put Phil Foden in my fantasy team yesterday, so I'm very happy about that. Super happy about that. He will win me some points. Zaim says in their peak prime, Van Basten, Eto'o, R9, Suarez, and Thierry Henry. Wow, that is difficult. Wayne is putting R9 as number one. Who would you put in the other positions, Wayne? You might be able to help me. Can I cheat? Can I cheat a little bit? I don't know if it counts as cheating if I ask for permission, but can I exclude Van Basten? Because I didn't really see Van Basten, but the others I've seen. I'm just thinking about it. I don't know if this is silly, and to be honest, it probably is silly, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna say R9, Suarez, Thierry Henry third. Oh my God, not Thierry Henry, not the great Thierry Henry number third. I'm gonna have to. Suarez for me is the best Premier League striker I've ever seen. Better than Thierry Henry. I appreciate that's gonna upset some people, but that's life. R9, Suarez, Henry, Eto'o. Van Basten I exclude because I've never seen him. Who's better, Larucci? And I don't know who that is because I don't know who Trent Alexander-Arnold is. I don't recognize that name. Yasser Larucci, 100%. Jonathan really wants me to stand up. It's not going to happen. It will also F up the focus of the camera. Grace does like Man City away kit today. It's the green and grey kit. Nice. I'm just going to have a quick reminder what that one looks like. Oh yeah. Makes a change from from most kits you see these days. Jonathan, where's the goat? Says, where's the goat fish? I think he was saying he was going to have a nap. Oh, swap Van Basten for Lewandowski. Ooh. So, is it controversial to say Lewandowski has never been tested in the Premier League? And I think the Premier League is the best league in the world. Whereas, and to be fair, neither has R9. So that throws that argument at the window. Ooh, another good shot by Sunderland, but saved by Ramsdale. I would put Lewandowski above Eto'o. So I would go I'd go R9, Suarez, Henry, Lewandowski, Eto'o. But Samuel Eto'o is very good. Wayne says, we might have a chance of the Premier League title, just a chance. I agree. I don't give up. Do not give up until it's mathematically impossible. As deluded as that makes me. Abdullah says, I got Voltamade in my FPL and he scores an own goal. The thing is, it was such a brutal own goal. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was such a brutal own goal. It wasn't an accidentally deflected off his foot, accidentally deflected off his head. He fully banged it in the goal, smashed it in his own goal. I think if it's that vindictive an own goal, they should make it minus 10 points because it was that bad. I was considering putting him in my team, but I didn't. Can't wait to see the highlights. I can't lie, it was absolutely hilarious. Sunderland player crossed it in, and Voltamade thought that he played for Sunderland, and just got on the end of the header. Got on the end of the header, sorry, and headed it into his own net. It was hilarious. Johnny is asking where Van Persie is. Van Persie would be maybe around 4th or 5th on that list. Wayne says Thierry Henry, I would go for second. So Wayne's list is R9 number 1, Thierry Henry number 2. That is still an elite list, to be fair. The thing is, these players are so good. You could almost put them in pretty much any order and you'd be correct, I'd say. He better score now to make it up. He's not. I'm sorry to say, Abdullah. As you say that, I see him coming off. So that is scary good timing. They're replaying his goal. they're replaying his goal as he's coming off, and I can't lie, it's still funny. It's actually funnier than some series on Netflix. But Wissa's coming on. Maybe Wissa will do something. Jonathan has sent me something on Instagram. Please check it. I always get very worried whenever you say that. Given the profane nature of the things that you send me. Jonathan says, bro, stand up or I will leak your address. You don't know my address. So that's a bit difficult. Jonathan says, Robin, the Flying Dutchman, my favourite striker. Your favourite striker over everybody? I thought you supported Chelsea though. And Van Persie played for United and also Arsenal. 14 odd minutes to go on this. I can't lie, I expected a bit more from Newcastle today. Expected a bit more. Sunderland now have every player behind the ball. So that's going to make it a lot more difficult. Grace supports Liverpool, Man United, Man City and Middlesbrough. I mean, that's quite a few teams. You put Liverpool first though, so that's the important part. Fish says something. I have no idea what that language is. For some reason it looks like Ukrainian. But you want the game to end. I also want the game to end. Or I'd rather Newcastle got a goal. That would be nice. That would be fantastic. Oh, I see. You support Netherlands in national football and you just love Van Persie. Does that mean, are you going to be supporting Netherlands in the World Cup? I hear Netherlands have a very good captain. I can't remember exactly who it is, but I hear Netherlands have a very good captain. Ikram says, how will Wirtz combine with Gakpo when both are on the pitch? By occupying the same position and getting in each other's way. That generally seems to be how it's working at the moment. But you could certainly say a lot of that was based on the old tactics and now the tactics have changed. What will probably happen now is Liverpool play a 4-4-2. Wirtz is at the tip of the diamond and Gakpo is probably the left-sided striker. So at least now they are in more dedicated positions. So Wirtz could potentially set Gakpo up with a through ball, that type of deal. But Gakpo's injured currently, so we'll have to wait a bit for him to come back. Jonathan supports Netherlands in the World Cup. That is a good choice. I tend to support the team that has the most Liverpool players in it, which is currently Netherlands. So we will be supporting the same team. Ooh, Wissa just got almost got that cross in. But almost still means that you screwed it up, so not quite. Oh wow. BM says 3-0 to Nottingham. I wasn't even keeping an eye on that, to be honest. But dang, against Spurs. I would not have predicted that. I would not have predicted that. Is that a good thing? Not to pretend the world revolves around Liverpool, because it doesn't. But Liverpool are playing Tottenham next. So if Tottenham are low on confidence, that could work out quite nicely. But I never would have predicted a 3-0. Who's the 2 ones for Man City? Foden and Haaland. Okay, fantastic. Both are in my fantasy team. Grace supports England and Portugal for the World Cup. Good choice. Zubair says Portugal will win it. It's certainly possible. They've got a good team. Do you want Portugal to win it, or do you think Portugal will win it? As in, do you support Portugal, or do you just think they've got the best chance, generally speaking? "3-2 to Villa," says BM. Dang, 5 goals. Of course, I end up watching the game that has the least amount of goals in it. Jonathan says R.I.P. Sonny. Sonny will be back again, I think. I hope. I was genuinely worried that something might have happened to him when he disappeared, but I think he's okay. Grace would not be surprised if Spain won. Spain are always a threat in every competition, I think, just because of the history that they have of winning trophies. And even when they don't have the best team, they still end up having quite a good team. They still got Pedri and so forth. So I think Spain are certainly in there with a chance. Charlotte says, who's the best Liverpool winger for speed in Premier League history? I don't know if John Barnes played as part of the Premier League era. I think he did, but that was towards the latter end of his career. The first one that came to mind was Sadio Mane. Mane certainly felt like he was a bit more explosive from a speed perspective compared to other wingers, compared to Salah and so forth. So I'd be tempted to go with him. Ryan Babel. I remember when Liverpool signed him. I was at school at the time, and everyone was saying he's the next Thierry Henry, and I was so excited, and then he never was. Grace says, have you got a favourite goalkeeper? It's a bit easy to say this, but I would say Alisson Becker. I think he's amazing. Simon says, how are you, bro? All good. How are you? I said Mane as well, to be fair. I felt like it was Mane as well. He had a different type of speed to Salah. I felt like Mane was just a lot more explosive. He could go from 0 to 100 like that. Whereas with Salah, it felt like more of a gradual increase of speed. Whereas with Mane, it was a sudden increase in speed. So I agree with you there. Fish says, when I go to Italy next week, buy a football shirt with fish on the back, number 19. I mean, it's a good idea in principle, but then I'd be stuck with a... But hold on, are you expecting me to wear this shirt, or do I have to give it to you? And why number 19 of all the numbers? I'm curious. Do you have some sort of connection to the number 19? BM's FPL is cooking though with 84 points. Did you see the Voltamade own goal? The Voltamade own goal was that funny. They should deduct 10 points for that. Because he literally fully just smacked it into his own goal. It wasn't even accidental. I don't know what my FPL is doing. I doubt it has 84 points. I do have Haaland in it, captained. And I do have... What's his name? Foden in it. So I'm hoping they get me a couple of points at the very least. Jonathan wants me to stand up for my cat and my bank account. For some reason, you're very eager to get me to stand up. It's not going to happen, but I appreciate the persistence. Fishinsky says red card Palace. Who's getting sent off for Palace? It hasn't updated on my thing. My thing still says 2-0. But you'll have to let us know. Haven't looked at mine since we were talking about it last on TikTok. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm not like mega into FPL. I play it casually, and this is the first year in about 10 years that I've played it. I basically got peer pressured into making a team. Simon says, do you buy the kits off the LFC website, bro? Absolutely not. This is from the Socialist Republic of China. Socialist, probably more communist Republic of China. Ooh, pen for Man City. And I can see, I've just seen goal for Man City. I presume that was a Haaland penalty. Shall I refresh the page? Yeah, Haaland penalty. That's a couple more. That's a couple more points for my FPL team. What do you like about the number 19 though? You said I should buy an Italy shirt with the number 19. What's special about the number 19? BM captained Harry Wilson and he got 16 points. Dang. So you actually predicted a few days ago to captain Harry Wilson and then it worked out. Can I ask you what the lottery numbers are? Because that's a really good prediction. Oh, the fans not looking happy. Not looking happy in the crowd. Simon was saying, I was thinking was going to give you the website I use Unreal. It's Unreal. Yeah, I've got one as well. It's pretty good. This will cost me like 20 quid. 20 quid. It's the player version and it's long sleeve. Quite like it. Can't really complain for 20 quid. Oh yeah, there are some other websites where they are a bit cheaper, to be fair. Yeah, I have seen like £14, £15. I always go for the player version if I can. I find them a bit more comfortable. But yeah, I have seen some for like a bit cheaper. Grace says in Sports Direct is 85 quid. 85 quid is crazy. When I was growing up as a kid, brand new shirts from JD Sports or whatever were £30. And also back in the day, the shirt was for 2 seasons. So I had the 2007 shirt as an example, but that was the 2007 to the 2009 shirt. Somewhere along the line, they realized they can sell a new shirt every year and make more money. BM says, honestly, I was going to captain Rice because he was against Wolves at home, but I saw Harry Wilson against Burn. I mean, you did the right thing. There's certain weeks where I do not get 32 points. So for you to get 32 points in one go is very impressive. Simon says 40 quid for a journey, Bosch. Those were the days, man. And they lasted you 2 years as well, which was always nice. Appreciate that, Simon. Very kind. Unfortunately, don't think Newcastle are going to do anything here. BM says he was in form, so I said, why not? I mean, everything points to this being an excellent call by you. Even if you asked me 2 days ago, he's in form, would you captain him? I'd say no. So it was a good call. Good night, Fish. Enjoy your evening. Simon says, unfortunately, I should clarify. I'm supporting Newcastle, which is why I'm wearing full Saudi kit. I'm pretending it's Saudi kit. In reality, it's the third Liverpool kit. The thing is, most of the people in my chat tend to be Newcastle fans, so there's quite a few Newcastle fans. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna show support to you guys and support your team. Obviously, if they're playing Liverpool, I wouldn't be supporting them. But if it's a local rival for you, I'll do the nice thing. Wayne says Sunderland are a very good side. I mean, they're proving it. I thought Newcastle would win today. But even now they are defending quite resolutely. It was a funny own goal, but you can. It is what it is. Oh, do you change your captain every week? That's what you should do, to be fair. I just keep mine permanently in Haaland because I'm lazy. Take care, Jonathan. That's the exact reason why you don't show them support. I've never thought about it that way, but you might be onto something. Obviously, I'm far too diplomatic. Charlotte says, "Are you having fun watching?" Not really. This is one of the most boring football games I've seen in a while. I can't lie. Grace is watching Sunderland now. Last 2 minutes. Let's see if Newcastle get an equaliser. I doubt it. They're starting a fight now. I don't know what they're starting a fight about. To be honest, Sunderland are potentially just wasting a bit of time. Oh, it's all kicking off. It's the perfect thing to do to waste time, to be honest. Livramento's calming people down. Good old Tino. Xhaka's in the middle of the action, because of course he is, because it's Xhaka. BM says, everyone captains Haaland every week, but I just want to have fun, so I change my captain. To be honest, you're doing the right thing. I think that's how you're supposed to play the game. I'm just lazy. I just leave it on Haaland. I'm just lazy. Referees handing bookings out. And as soon as you start handing bookings out, people start behaving. Willock's got a booking and he's saying, me. The game isn't too far gone. Wayne says, what's your top 4 predictions? Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Yeah, that's the thing. Grace is saying, lol, what they fighting about? They've lost anyway. To be honest, I think this could be a case of Sunderland just wasting a bit of time. Create a fake fight, waste a bit of time. That gives Newcastle even less time to get an equaliser. It seems like it's a case of that. It kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest. But we're approaching 95 minutes now. To be honest, Bruno Guimaraes has also been booked. That's a good point by Wayne. They are local rivals. This is the Tyne-Wear derby, so we have to understand that as well. We see this kind of thing in Merseyside derby, Liverpool, Everton, Manchester derby sometimes. It looks like he's having his eye attended to. I don't know if he's got a black eye or if he just got eye bags from a lack of sleep. Malik Theo's also been booked. Yeah, that was a good point by Wayne. They are local rivals. Every Newcastle fan I saw said they were about to destroy Sunderland. To be honest, I thought they'd get a win as well. So I was wrong about that as well. Maybe not destroy. I wouldn't have said destroy, but I thought Newcastle would get the win here. Yeah, fair point there. Away form is not fantastic. Sunderland are a very good side. They're not a championship team at all. Very true. I think they're proving that with every game. I'm impressed by how defensively resolute they are. Dale says, afternoon, mate. How's it going, Dale? I hope you are good. We say afternoon, but it's 4 o'clock and it's pretty much pitch black outside. But that's just the time of year. But yeah, how you doing? Hope you're good. Wayne says it's the knockout. Yeah, I mean, I can't lie. This is a bit more exciting than the UFC last night. Yeah, it's like we're into 97 minutes. Officially 4 minutes of added time. He's probably going to blow the whistle. And he has not blown the whistle, but he's probably going to blow the whistle. And he's still not blown the whistle, but he's probably going to blow the whistle. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, when football turns into UFC, that can make it a bit exciting if nothing much has happened in the match. Simon says, how was UFC last night? Forgot about it. To be honest, I forgot about it as well. When I logged onto my computer this morning, they said it was a UFC fight night. Manuel Cape guy. I don't think it was particularly good. Like it was not. It wasn't a pay-per-view card. It was one of those fight night things. I tend to pay limited attention to those. But it is full time here. Voltamade looks very sad. Is the ref safe? Let's hope so. If Faz Paradise says Sunderland versus Man City, end it 3-0. As in Sunderland as in Crystal Palace versus Man City. That's an absolute battering. I thought that would be a tough game. Crystal Palace are flying at the moment. And Crystal Palace are also at home. And Crystal Palace seem to batter Liverpool whenever they play him. But a 1-0 win I can understand. But yeah, a 3-0 is crazy. Man City are winning the league this year. 100%. Not 100%. 95%. But City got to be the favourites. Patrick from Wish says hi. How's it going, Patrick from Wish? Simon said it looked like a decent card. I might need to look into it a bit more then. I just saw the highlights on YouTube and I kind of very, very vaguely clicked on it but didn't pay much attention. Grace says he should feel guilty. He should feel guilty and ashamed. The old man of the match. Hell now. Time to have a Kit Kat. Yeah, time to have a break. The thing with Kit Kats is you get the Kit Kats that are 2 and the Kit Kats that are 4. I find the Kit Kats that are 2 are just not enough. So if you're going to have a Kit Kat, make sure it's got 4 pieces because the 2-piece Kit Kat just does nothing for me. If Faz says, my bad, Man City... No, Man City played Palace today. Man City played Crystal Palace and they won 3-0. But yes, they did beat Madrid the other day as well. Man City are flying high, I can't lie, mate. City are probably going to win the league. Ifaz says, are you English? Indeed. Some people can tell from the accent. Some people can't. McLovin says, how many shots? In which game? In this game or the Man City game? Nebs says, well, Palace ain't winning any more games. They've got 4 games in 9 days. Wow. I think you're right. 4 games in 9 days after this battering is not a good sign. Grace doesn't like the chunky Kit Kat. It's alright. The normal Kit Kat's better. But yeah, chunky Kit Kat would not be my first choice. If Faz says, which club are you into? Shaheen Afridi says the same thing. Which club do you support? I support Liverpool, which is not obvious because this kit is green, but I don't know if you can see it there. It's the third kit. But yes, I support Liverpool, who battered Brighton, who beat Brighton 2-0 yesterday. Nebs says Oliver Glasner said they did invest well, and in January they need to buy more players. He keeps asking for more players. Glasner needs to behave eventually. Ifaz says, imagine if Palace didn't sell Eze and Elise. They might have been even higher. They might have been even higher on the league. Might have been even higher. Eze is doing quite good at Arsenal, and Elise is doing very good in Germany. But I think Elise will be back in the Premier League next year. Steve, Dallas Cowboys. So Sunderland unbeaten streak continues against Newcastle in the Premier League. Yeah, fair point. To be honest with you, I thought Newcastle would get a result here. So for Sunderland to do that, I think, you know what, fair enough. I genuinely thought before the game, I thought Newcastle would take this 1-0, to be honest with you. Grace says, "Are you ending the live now?" Then yeah, probably in the next 5 minutes. I've got to pack my bag for my holiday next week, and it's a bit of a process. Probably the next 5 minutes. Shaheen says, "You look like that New York mayor guy." Yes, Zoran Mamdani. I look like a cross between Zoran Mamdani and Mo Salah. Pino, who's Eze's replacement, is a bowler. He is a good player, to be fair. Geordie Jeans says Newcastle are terrible this year. Voltamade isn't good. Voltamade isn't good enough. I can't lie. That header was wild because it didn't just deflect off his foot. Like he fully headed it, fully smacked it into the goal. What is he thinking? What is that guy thinking? Sunderland didn't have a shot until the 70th minute, by the way. Both teams were quite defensive. I think maybe a draw would have been a fair result, all things considered. Ifad says Messi or Ronaldo. I would say Messi, but if anybody says Ronaldo, I can understand. I can't lie. You are correct. I was seriously regretting watching this game. It's why during the stream we spent most of the time talking about food, talking about chocolate, talking about holidays. Because the game was that boring. We were talking about everything else. Speaking of holidays, Mo Scalt provided some good holiday destinations earlier. He says, "Did you see the Freiburg goal?" I did not. Was it good? Grace says, "See you on the 27th. Yeah, see you then. Take care." That's another one. People also say I look like Ruben Amorim. Yeah, I get Ruben Amorim. So Mo Salah is the one that I get the most. Ruben Amorim is maybe the one I get second most. And Zoran Mamdani, I get that a little bit. Shaheen says, Messi is my GOAT. Good choice. I appreciate that, Nebs. Thank you. Yeah, same as me, as Nebs is saying. So Nebs is saying I wasn't paying attention. I also wasn't paying attention. We were talking about chocolate, I think, at the time. And then I just saw the corner going. And proper, like, smacked the header in. I said, what a header, yeah. What a header. It's a shame it's in the wrong goal. Mo Scout says, remember when 66 headed it into the Liverpool goal and it was the 90th minute and they drew 1-1? To be honest, I've mentally erased that from my head. Faz says, love from Bangladesh. I just subscribed to you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. King Slot, what scenes from Sunderland? I'm a United fan but got tickets to experience this. Nice. Sounds like a pretty good day out, to be fair. You got to watch a football match and you got to watch a UFC fight at the very end. I mean, two for the price of one. Can't really complain. Yeah, as as Neb says, if it was at the other end, you might say, is that goal of the month? It was that funny because sometimes you see own goals and it's an unfortunate deflection, or it just kind of hits their foot and accidentally goes in. But this one, he rocketed it into his own net. If Oz wishes Messi could have played in the Premier League, I wish we would have seen that as well. It would have been interesting to see how that would have worked out. I guess the closest comparison we have is certain Champions League games where he played against English teams. That's probably the closest comparison we have. Gotta give it to Sunderland. Brilliant. Yeah, a resolute defensive display. There was no pressure on him as well. Maybe that's what makes it so funny. I think you might be onto something about why that makes that so funny. Because it was under no pressure. He was in a mile of... There was a circular radius around him of a mile. And he could have easily taken his time. He could have had lunch. He could have had a nap. And he still would have had time to clear it. But he decides not to do that. He decides to smack it in his own goal. Nebs says 4 own goals in 2 days. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it could be something to do with that flu going around. Have you heard there's a new flu that's making everyone sick? My theory is it's making everyone go crazy and it's making them score own goals. King Slot says definitely that was the undercard today. The main event is tomorrow night. Who are you playing tomorrow night? Is it Everton? Just gonna have a quick look. Bournemouth. That should be a good game, to be fair. We should see a couple of goals in that at the very least. There was a Newcastle player behind, so maybe it could have been. Could have thought it was a Sunderland player, but I can't lie. It's still very funny. It's still very funny to watch back. Yeah, Bournemouth tomorrow should be a good game. But anyway, I better go because I need to pack for my holiday next week, and I've not done much packing, so I better do that. I will be in Italy next week, but I'll be back on the 27th, so I'm gonna miss the Spurs game because I'll be busy eating pizza and getting fat. So hopefully I work some of that pizza off when I'm back on the 27th. To be fair, I think Liverpool maybe started the flu. They say illnesses arise from somewhere. I think Liverpool probably started the flu. Neb says, have a good one. I appreciate that. Hope you guys have a nice weekend. And yeah, see you guys soon. Take care.